Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Carter and Ridge confront Steffy and Taylor after they trash Brooke. According to Monday, February 17th spoilers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter Walton and Ridge Forrester will square off, while Steffy Forrester and Taylor Hayes will disparage Brooke Logan for her true motivation. Carter must first determine how he will respond to Ridge's visit. When Ridge arrived at Forrester Creations, he noticed Carter in a distressed state and said sarcastically that heavy is the head that wears the crown. Carter just finished telling Hope Logan, Annika Noel, that he was a traitor and that he was no longer able to do this, but she left him in tears. Ridge's current situation may be impacted because Carter's connection with Hope is at stake. Since Ridge is likely to irritate Carter and disparage Hope, his attitude may also play a role. Given that BMB teasers suggest Carter would dig his heels in with Ridge, it might be sufficient to convince him to retain power. They'll talk about Brooke's efforts to alter Carter's viewpoint and eventually return control of the business to the Forresters over with Steffy and Taylor. Taylor and Steffy will think Brooke has a personal motive, even if they won't object if she does that. Steffy and Taylor will concur that Brooke's true motivation is a romantic reunion with Ridge, because they will engage in some trash talk during this conversation. Making amends and preserving the Forrester heritage for Brooke aren't really the goals here, at least not in the eyes of Taylor and Steffy. Naturally, Taylor continues to explain that she feels safe in their relationship and that she trusts Ridge. Taylor might reassure Steffy that she doesn't think Brooke poses a threat because she thinks she and Ridge will have a permanent future together. Nevertheless, Steffy might be worried and predict that Brooke will use every tactic in the book to win Ridge over. While Steffy is happy that Taylor and Ridge are back together, she might worry that if he gives in to Brooke once more, unpleasant news is on the horizon. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy might advise Taylor to be on her watch. Follow along for any updates on any cautions she may give. Hope storms out, Brooke's real motivation, Carter vs. Ridge. Here are the spoilers for Monday, February 17th, 2025's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. Fans can anticipate that Carter Walton will defend himself against Ridge Forrester in the upcoming episode. Steffy Forrester Finnegan and Taylor Hayes argue over Brooke Logan's real motivation in the meanwhile. Let's discuss what will happen in the upcoming episode of the CBS soap opera as you continue reading. Check out our BMB spoilers for next week here. I'm hoping Logan's storm is over. Fans should anticipate that Carter will have to face with the consequences of his candor and jewel offering in the upcoming episode. Carter wanted to apologize to the Forrester family on behalf of both himself and Hope Logan. According to Carter, having Forrester Creations without the Forrester family didn't feel right. Hope, on the other hand, completely lost it and ran away. Carter offered Hope jewelry, but she turned them down, resulting in a bloody hand. Forrester vs. Carter Walton. Ridge spotted Carter with the crushed gems and his bleeding hand when he entered Forrester Creations. Heavy is he who wears the crown, was Ridge's one comment for his erstwhile closest friend after learning of what had recently transpired. Carter doesn't really need Hope to apologize, so this would be a good chance for him to do so. After all, the LLC filings only contain Carter's name. The motivation of Brooke Logan. According to spoilers for Monday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy and Taylor will talk about Brooke. When Brooke left the workplace, because she could no longer handle the argument, Steffy might tell Taylor what transpired. Hope was informed by Steffy at the time that even her own mother recognized the wrongness of the coup. Taylor and Steffy remain cautious even though Brooke opposes the coup. Steffy and Taylor will argue over Brooke's actual motivation. Essential read, The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Does Finn lose the support of Ridge and Taylor and reverse Steffy's divorce? It is hinted that Taylor and Steffy would conclude that Brooke is merely acting morally in order to win Ridge back. Now, it would be so much better if Brooke simply left Ridge after returning the company. Fans are aware that this soap opera isn't written that way, though. February 17th, 2025, Monday. As John Finnegan attempts to tell Steffy the truth about Luna Nozawa, fans may also witness what transpires. But when will people realize that Luna is under house arrest at Bill Spencer's opulent mansion rather than in jail? Keep an eye out, because that could lead to a lot of issues. Ivy and Elektra's triumph, Brooke's reasoning, and Carter's brutal rejection. Finally, here is the bold and the beautiful recap for Friday, February 14, 2025. The jewelry line debut is a huge success in today's episode. However, Hope Logan, Annika Noel, leaves Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, injured and crushed when he tries to apologize to the Forrester family. The logic of Brooke Logan. Carter is discussing Ridge Forrester with Brooke Logan at Forrester Creations. According to Carter, Ridge continued to undervalue him. According to Brooke, that is untrue. Since none of them is with the man they love on Valentine's Day, Brooke explains. Carter notices Eric Forrester's old stapler in the desk drawer as Hope leads the team into the office. Hope proclaims that this is Forrester Creations' Carter Walton era. Carter smiles weakly as everyone cheers. Check out our B&B spoilers for next week here. The success of Elektra Forrester. Elektra Forrester is informed by Wood Spencer that her skill would be showcased to the world. Carter concurs that Ivy and Elektra Forrester produce amazing ideas. Ivy and Elektra are also credited by Zend Forrester Dominguez. They did a fantastic job representing the Forrester family, Zend continues. Read more, discover what transpired on B&B yesterday. Zend informs Katie Logan, Heather Tom, and Brooke that Carter doesn't appear very excited. Brooke speculates that Carter would miss Ridge, the man he loves. John Finnegan's chaos. According to the recap of The Bold and the Beautiful, John Finnegan is in his hospital office. Finn can't stop thinking about how both his biological mother and child attempted to murder his wife. How will Finn tell Steffy about Luna Nozawa? Finn makes the decision to inform Steffy that he will be working late. Finn says they need to talk, but he's not sure what time he'll be home. They can see the jewelry launch at the Forrester estate, according to Eric Forrester, John McCook. Although he approved this, Eric doesn't think he will get any of the credit. Eric, Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, and Ridge are joined by Steffy. Essential read, The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Does Finn lose the support of Ridge and Taylor and reverse Steffy's divorce? The cruel rejection of Carter Walton. Ridge texts Ivy and Elektra to congratulate them back at Forrester Creations. Carter's vibe is completely off, even if most people are delighted. At last, Hope ejects everyone and asks Carter what's wrong. Without the Forresters, it's Forrester Creations, according to Carter. Carter proposes that they win. Carter feels that this is wrong. Carter requests an apology from both of them to the Forrester family. Hope begins to shout and cry. Carter vowed to protect her. Hope runs off when Carter tries to offer her the glittering jewel. The jewel in Carter's hand gets crushed as he clenches his fist. Ridge walks in as Carter looks at his bleeding hand. Valentine's Day romance and fashion-forward jewelry. Friday, February 14, 2025, spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful hint at the debut of a new jewelry line set against a romantic scene. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, has Forrester Creations been successful? Hope Logan and Carter Walton are once again proud of who they are. In addition, they are launching a fantastic new fragrance. Thanks to the skills of Ivy Forrester and her niece Elektra Forrester, they also have gorgeous new jewelry. When Ivy worked with Quinn Fuller, she learnt from the greatest. However, Quinn is currently living a new and mysterious life, so Ivy is returning to the United States to continue the Forrester jewelry heritage. She simply wasn't prepared to stop working with Forresters. Although Steffy Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, attempts to act cheerful and carry out her duties, she is fuming on the inside since she dislikes Ivy, Hope, and now Carter. Although Steffy's true preferences are unknown, she will not like you if you obstruct her from getting anything she desires. Would Hope and Carter experience their first setback, failing to recognize that their scent line is what would break them, or will the new jewelry line succeed as well as Quinn's previous designs? There is love in the air. Nobody is unaware that Will Spencer plays a significant role in both Elektra's life and this significant launch, which occurs on Valentine's Day. Will and Elektra are free to be together and explore their emotions for one another following the drama and trauma involving Remy Price. It's time for a big celebration as the line launches. They are unaware that Will's father has a serial killer in his house. After eavesdropping in on Will and Elektra's discussions, Luna Nozawa has not been pleased with what she has heard. Will he eventually want to know her better, or will she end up being a hazardous thorn in Will and Elektra's side? Ridge visits Forrester while Hope sobs and storms out on Carter. According to Friday, February 14th recap of The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope Logan wept and yelled at Carter Walton prior to Ridge Forrester's arrival to Forrester Creations. First, Hope predicted the successful debut of the jewelry line and encouraged Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, to embrace the company's new destiny in Friday's BMB episode. Brooke Logan continued to work on Carter in the main office, trying to make him realize how much he missed his bond with Ridge. He intended to watch the jewelry line premiere online at Eric Forrester's, John McCook, residence, but he was aware that the Forresters would not be given credit for starting it now that Carter and Hope were in charge. John Finnegan texted Steffy on Valentine's Day to apologize for having to work late, while Eric, Ridge, and Taylor Hayes went over all the workplace problems again. Finn was still worrying about Luna Nozawa's paternity in his office, and he was unsure of how to inform Steffy of this startling development. Finn was apprehensive, but he was resolved to be honest with Steffy. After arriving at the Forrester mansion with Daphne Rose, Steffy moved away to contact Finn on Valentine's Day. Eventually, after a brief phone chat, Finn and Steffy agreed to speak at home later. Carter commissioned a special piece of jewelry for Hope, which Elektra Forrester delivered back to Forrester Creations. Carter was dejected as he put the box into the desk and noticed Eric's stapler. Hope wanted to celebrate Carter's new era with everyone in attendance at the formal drop because the jewelry line launch was so successful. Hope was obviously uneasy even though he talked about the company's promising future under Carter's direction. When Will Spencer had some alone time with Elektra, he shouted her praises and gave her some flowers and a Valentine's Day stuffed animal. Brooke, Zend Forrester Dominguez, and Katie Logan, Heather Tom, talked about how Carter didn't appear very pleased with the launch. Brooke was certain that Carter was guilty and missing Ridge. She questioned Carter about his mood swings after returning with Hope. After the jewelry line launch, Hope felt Carter should be proud, but he surprised her by implying that perhaps they ought to win. Hope was infuriated right away because Carter believed they could flaunt the most recent projections and express regret for the covert takeover. Carter wanted to make things right because he felt like a traitor, but Hope yelled at him for what he was asking her to do. Hope refused to return to the previous state of affairs after reminding Carter that he had promised to support her. Hope was far too sad to accept Carter's attempt to give her her unique Valentine's Day gemstone gift. Carter started crying and broke the personalized jewelry on the desk after Hope burst out crying. When Ridge finally materialized in the doorway, he smugly proposed that heavy is the head that wears the crown after noticing Carter's emotional state. Don't miss what happens at Forrester Creations next, since spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Carter and Ridge will have a lot to discuss soon. At Forrester Creations, Carter Walton has always been the calm, trustworthy, and moral man. He was renowned for his cool head, his honesty in his work, and his enviable ability to strike a balance between friendship, love, and business. However, even the most resilient people eventually find themselves pushed to the limit, and for Carter, that time had come. His breaking point was a gradual, excruciating accumulation of betrayals, heartache, and inner struggle rather than an abrupt one. It resulted from unrequited love, the pressure of work-related problems, and the oppressive knowledge that despite his best efforts, he always seemed to fall short in the eyes of the people who were most important to him. For years, Carter had been Ridge Forrester's and the Forrester family's confidant and valued legal advisor. However, he kept getting caught up in their tumultuous personal dramas and was compelled to make up for their errors at the expense of his own pleasure. His romantic life had been a string of letdowns, starting with Zoe and continuing with Quinn and even Paris. Every romance began with promise, but ultimately failed due to deceit and unfulfilled expectations. Carter felt something break inside of him as he stood in his office looking at a pile of legal documents that threatened to destroy everything he had worked so hard to achieve. The most recent betrayal was from a friend rather than a romantic partner. He had protected the business, stood up for Ridge, and done everything he could to keep Forrester Creations intact. However, Carter once again found himself on the outside looking in when it came to trust. Carter had always admired Steffy, but Steffy seemed to view him with suspicion rather than appreciation, and Ridge doubted him, doubting his loyalty. Despite his efforts, he was still viewed as an outsider by the organization, someone who was helpful, but never really one of them. And no failed romance ever hurt as much as that revelation. Additionally, he had a complex friendship with Brooke Logan. Whether as an ally or a cause of conflict, Brooke had always been a part of his life. But lately, his patience had been put to the strain by her persistent interference and self-serving behavior. Expecting Carter to give in to her demands as he always did, she had come to him, begging for help in her most recent conflict between her will and Taylor and Ridge. However, things were different this time. Carter wasn't in the mood to mediate a never-ending conflict between betrayals and love triangles this time. Carter was worn out this time. The ultimatum served as the tipping point. He had to decide between his own self-respect and his allegiance to the Forresters. He had to choose between doing what was required of him and defending his own interests. And Carter made a self-choice for the first time in years. He got to his feet, collected the legal papers, and made the choice that would alter everything. Carter was confident that he would no longer be the man who people relied on but then ignored when it was convenient, whether that meant leaving Forrester Creations, cutting off contact with those who had taken advantage of him, or taking back his own story. His pulse throbbed with a mix of anxiety and relief as he left his office. Although the future was unknown, Carter felt something he had almost forgotten for the first time in a long time: authority over his own fate. Despite having reached his breaking point, he was prepared to rebuild, on his own terms, rather than crumble. Fashion-forward jewelry and romance on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is the ideal time to show your love, and there's no better way to do it than with stylish jewelry that conveys your individuality, sense of style, and strong emotional bonds. When combined with the romance of Valentine's Day, jewelry, which has long been a sign of commitment, elegance, and sophistication, makes a classic and meaningful present. Fashion-forward jewelry offers endless ways to celebrate love, whether you're searching for a standout piece to impress your significant other or something delicate and understated that symbolizes everyday elegance. As jewelry styles have changed, new designs have emerged that combine traditional beauty with contemporary inventiveness. Today's jewelry is all about expressing who you are, from massive and aggressive gold chains to complex and customized pieces. The return of jewelry with a vintage feel is one of the biggest trends this Valentine's Day. Consider exquisite filigree necklaces, Art Deco-style rings, and Baroque pearl earrings that add a touch of the past to modern romanticism. These items seamlessly maintain their style and relevance in today's fashion industry while paying a lovely homage to the past. Customized jewelry has become incredibly popular for people looking for a genuinely unique touch. Initials entwined in classy bracelets, engraved necklaces, or even rings set with birthstones offer sentimental significance that makes a piece genuinely one of a kind. The allure of personalized jewelry is that it allows for a sentimental and treasured gift while telling a story, your story. Couples frequently choose jewelry that has meaning beyond appearances, including matching couples rings that represent unending devotion, lockets containing tiny images, or bracelets with infinity symbols. Jewelry made from ethical and sustainable sources is another style that is gaining popularity. Customers are searching for items that not only sparkle but also reflect their ideals as conscious consumerism grows. Conflict-free gemstones, recycled gold, and lab-grown diamonds provide opulent alternatives without sacrificing morality. In order to ensure that responsibility and beauty coexist, designers are increasingly include eco-friendly components in their collections. These jewelry items become more than just accessories for people who appreciate sustainability, they thoughtfully and responsibly symbolize love. It's crucial to take the recipient's unique style into account while choosing jewelry for Valentine's Day. Simple and subtle pieces like delicate gold chains, tiny diamond studs, or sophisticated bangle bracelets are a sophisticated yet romantic option for the minimalist. Conversely, stacked necklaces, large hoop earrings, or striking gemstone rings produce a striking and dramatic look for people who enjoy making a statement. Selecting jewelry that suits one's taste guarantees that it will be cherished and worn for many years to come. Equally important is matching the ideal Valentine's Day outfit with the appropriate jewelry. A stunning sapphire pendant turns a basic black dress into an exquisite ensemble, and charm bracelets and stacking rings elevate a laid-back date night into an effortlessly stylish ensemble. Nothing goes more romantically with a candlelit meal than the glimmer of a classic pearl necklace or a pair of diamond earrings. Enhancing the overall appearance while letting the jewelry shine as the ultimate representation of love is crucial. Valentine's Day jewelry is about empowerment and self-love in addition to giving. Many people decide to gift themselves to a beautiful piece that showcases their accomplishments and self-assurance in order to commemorate the day. Purchasing jewelry for oneself, whether it be a trademark bracelet, a power ring, or an heirloom-inspired brooch, is a declaration of admiration and self-worth. In addition to adding to Valentine's Day romance, trendy jewelry serves as a timeless memento of joy, love, and individual flair. The perfect piece of jewelry can express feelings in a way that words can't, whether it's given as a gift by friends, swapped between lovers, or bought as a self-love gesture. Let jewelry be the most stylish way to convey your love story this Valentine's Day.